Broadcasting through the depths of outer space.
Hello, I'm alive. I don't know what's going on.
By your command.
Fascinating.
God damn you all to hell!
It's the Sci-Fi Podcast. This is episode 19 of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Michael Ball on the show. And I'm watching an episode of The Outer Limits called A Stitch in Time, which features a temporal portal. And guess who's coming through the portal at the moment? It's Mr. Martin Fowler. How are you doing, Martin?
I'm great. I've just been travelling across the multi-dimensional planes and discovering new things, but I got sent back because they told me to stay in quarantine, so there you go.
Oh, okay. The episode in question, just to let people know, we're going to be focusing on the 90's series of The Outer Limits this week. And the episode I'm referring to is an episode called A Stitch in Time, where I'll give you a quick synopsis. FBI, Jamie Perrin investigates some pretty strange cases in her time, but one of the strangest during the last 50 years, 17 men people through the country have been murdered with the same gun. And it turns out basically she's this woman is trying to stop murders from happening in the past, and it's a very good episode. So slightly going on a tangent there, but if you've not seen The Outer Limits from the 90's, I highly recommend it. And I've got a list of some of the best episodes which we're going to feature on the Focus this week. But before
do you know, it's funny, I've watched a couple.
Oh, right, which ones have you seen?
No, I've watched a few this week on YouTube, and funny that I watched that one.
Oh, you did? Oh, wow, that's a really good one. That's season 2, episode 1.
That is so weird.
That's with Michelle Forbes, who played Ensign Rowe on Star Trek Next Generation as well. Oh, good. And she was also in Battlestar Galactica remake. Brilliant. Yeah, that's a very, very good episode, especially at the end where we find out that she's sort of taken over from the woman that created the time machine. So, yeah, good episode. I love that series. We'll talk about that. So this week we'll... first of all, how are you this week before we go into the news? What's been the latest with you?
Yeah, I'm all right. It's been good. I told somebody off in the shop this morning.
Oh, why? What happened?
Well, my corner shop, he's got it, so he's shut down for 10 days.
Right.
So I went to the other corner shop. There was in there. I'm not, and he was putting stuff on the shelf, and I said, I'm wearing masks now. I said to him, "Can you move?" And he was just staring at me. I said, "Look, can you move?" Yeah, first I was nice about it, and he just stared at me. I said, "I don't want to catch him, mate. Will you just move?" You know, so I'm not. I don't want it, mate.
Well,
you know,
they should be aware of that. I mean, anybody with any sense...
I do not want it.
And me neither. I can't afford to get this either. And it's... if some people are, though, not sort of acknowledging it or taking on the serious aspects of it... so what happened in the end? Did you manage to get your food from the store? No? So what's going to happen?
Well, his boss told him to move. His boss said to him behind till he said, "Can you move?"
All right.
And then I heard him tell him. He said, "Look, when customers ask, just move." You know, and I respect the guy. They're doing the jobs, and I admire them for that. I really do. But, you know, I just don't want to get it. Do you know what I mean? I stand away from people. And I tried every time I go out, I wash my hands all the time. I just don't, want to contract it. Look at the Prime Minister. I mean, he's bloody got it, hasn't he?
I know.
And it's what I mean. But I think that woke a lot of people up when he got it.
Yeah, I agree, because people thought, it's nothing. But he's in his mid-50s. And so he's still comparatively younger to the more the older group, which are at a higher fatality ratio. But if he's got it, and he's actually been admitted to intensive care, then that just tells you that you've really got to take this seriously. So although it's bad for him, and obviously I want him to recover, I hope that will actually be more of a rallying cry to people, just to be a bit more careful and be aware that this thing is
because they sent
can
me
be very dangerous.
5G, how it's connected to this.
Oh, that's a load of old bollocks.
And he sent me it, and I said to him, "Look, stop sending out this stuff." And he said, "Oh, I'm sending it." I said, "Look, it's all conspiracy nonsense.
Yeah, absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish, yeah.
He said, "It's not a flu." He said it's 5G and it's killing our cells.
Oh,
and I just
that's
stood
ridiculous.
there thinking, "Look, mate, I'm not even going to get into an argument. you're blocked.
No, I don't blame
And
you.
that's I'm sick of people sending me these things.
Well,
Like,
who would be stupid enough to actually believe that in the first place?
Yeah, but I mean, I've been on Facebook. There's loads of people believe it. There's
Well, why?
Some people set up a anti-5G page now. That 5G
God.
thing. Yeah, I know. I've got a few friends that have blocked. I'm fed up with this. That everything's a conspiracy theory, and the globalists and the elitists and the Illuminati and all this. They're putting in 5G for mind control, and then we're all going to get chipped with a tattoo on the back of our heads.
Yeah.
And then we'll have the mark of the beast, and the new world order will run the world. Bloody hell, I'm fed up with it because none of it is backed up by any science whatsoever.
Yeah, but surely your average person would see it as a load of old bollocks and just think, what the hell is this about, and just hit delete, like you would, like I would.
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, look, I'm into the old. I'm fascinated by conspiracies.
Right.
I like looking into it, but I also like to dig to support the opposite argument to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's no argument. There's no argument about bloody 5G. It's just a network.
No,
it's not.
just making
It's just crap.
They said this about 4G.
Oh God.
They said, didn't they? They said it all about.
It's just
I
a
mean, look, I'm not
coincidence.
knocking-
It's just a
knocking
coincidence
it.
that 5G are coming along now at the same time as this pandemic.
But I got a video. It got banned on Facebook. I watched 10 minutes of it. We're all about this. That it's putting radiation into our cells. It's making us think we've got this flu happening, and it's not. Look, look. I'm into aliens and UFOs. I'm a big believer, but the conspiracy thing. Somebody told me I got into an argument with a friend a couple of months ago. He was telling me that gravity's not real and black holes don't exist. Because he believes in something called the electric universe theory.
Oh well, it is interesting. No, it is interesting.
And I said, you're
That is
talking
interesting.
out your ass.
It is interesting for people to think.
Yeah,
about,
it's interesting
but it's
because they make
also
it sound plausible.
Yeah, but I mean, most people with any sense would realise that that's horseshit. That's absolute crap. But
Well, it's like flat earthers, isn't it? It's
yeah,
like
some
flat
people really
earthers.
do. They think we're on a big disc, like a frisbee or something.
Yeah, with a tortoise underneath.
Yeah, but I know, like the episode of Doctor Who where
Yeah.
London was on that big creature. Sorry, Doctor Who rant, but yeah, no, it's just
Yes.
in the end, if I see that, I have heard about this 5G thing, and I read it. I think it was on the BBC, and of course I read it. I laughed it off, and I just moved on to the next thing. So, but if people are sending you rubbish like that, then yeah, I don't think I'd want to get a lot of messages if they're putting stuff like that on. Unless
if
they
people want to believe it,
but don't force it on other
I'm
people.
not believing it.
Well, no, I don't either. But I wouldn't want
Yeah,
to. I wouldn't want to force it on, people when it's so ludicrous. I mean, I like to send off funny stuff, funny clips and stuff, but that's comedy. It's not so, and it's comedy. It's not the same as pretending that 5G is going to wipe you. It's it's crazy. No, sorry, mate. Not involved with that. And if I get anything, if you get anything,
No.
don't forward it on to me. That's all I can say to you up to that one. Right.
Oh,
I know. Oh, I think it's disappointing now. Anything? So from my perspective, what have I been doing? I've been at home now for nearly a month already, and this is crazy.
yeah.
I'm using.
How are you coping?
I have good days, bad days. I'm feeling unfit. I'm getting I'm getting palpitations too because I haven't got my decaf coffee. I'm trying to use. I hate cross train. We've got a cross trainer, but I'm doing it twice a day now, just for 5 minutes, because when I come off it, I can hardly walk. It just wipes out me walking for a little while until I think maybe because my muscles aren't used to it yet. But I just feel so manky. But it gets the heart pumping. So I'm doing that for exercise. I'm also walking around in circles and stuff. But it's just, I just want to be able to go out for a walk and just see the sea, or, get in the car and just drive somewhere. And it's crazy. So, I was talking to my mate in Spain this morning. I talk every Wednesday to him, and he was just saying that the best way to deal with it really is not to look too far in the future, just to sort of focus on this week, see how that goes, and then next week starts and do it like that. And I think that's quite fair enough, because in the end, it just does your head in. If you're thinking about where we are in 6 months' time or something, it's not healthy. It's not something I want. So I'm just going to, every week, I mean, like I said, we are not going to try and talk about this too much, because this is a sci-fi podcast, but let's take it week in, week out. But I'd like to share the funny stories of the week, because I think that's interesting as well, because in the end, we are sharing our lives with the world, so it's nice to, if people are listening, to hear what we're about, where we are. So thank you for that. Right, on that note, do you want to go into the solar sci-fi news of the week, which isn't much?
Yeah, go on, man.
Oh, okay, here's a jingle.
Working.
Solar sci-fi
News.
Right then, this week, the major news item, and you've got something to share, which you told me just before we started recording, but my one first is that tomorrow, because we're recording this on Wednesday the 8th, is finally something new to watch, which is, of course, the brand new Red Dwarf. They did release a 5 minutes sneak preview a few days ago, and it looked very good. It looked quite funny. Are you going to be watching it live tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm looking really forward to it. The race of cat people, I'm quite fascinated.
But are you going to see it live tomorrow when it's actually... It's on at 8 o'clock tomorrow, I think it is.
I can't say that, and I'll have the licensed people round.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, fair enough. Well, anyway, yeah, maybe we...
Yeah, I'll be watching it, yeah. Doesn't matter how.
No.
It just appears on my screen.
Yeah, it just materialises on your screen in front of you. I think it looks quite good, and I'm so pleased that the BBC aren't making it. I've already said this before, that I quite... Some people have got an issue with the Dave version of Red Dwarf, but I think for the most part it's been pretty good. So, like I said, it could be the last episode. It could finish on a high. We'll have to see what happens. So we'll have next week's show, for people who are interested. We're going to do a focus of the week on Red Dwarf, talking about our favourite series, favourite episodes, how it's changed over the years, continuity issues, which there's been quite a few of. So I think that should prove very interesting. So we'll look forward to that. Now, tell me about They Live. If people aren't familiar, there's a film called They Live by John Carpenter. You've told me about something brand new coming to Netflix. What's that all about?
Well, apparently Netflix, I was reading through the week that Netflix is with John Carpenter. They're going to do some movies of it, or it's set 20 years on, 30 years on.
Oh, so it's going to be a sequel.
And we're all living together and that, yeah.
Oh, so it's not going to be a remake.
It'd be like Alien Nation, won't it?
No, I like Take. That's another one to do.
It's a sequel. It's a sequel, yeah. It's set. Well, obviously, when we find out they're all here and what's been going on, they're living with us apparently. So
because in the end of the at the end of the film, the transmitter, which is given the full signal, breaks, and suddenly all the aliens in disguise are suddenly revealed. And there's this one last scene with this woman on top of this man going, "Is everything okay, honey?" That was like the last scene of the film, and it was hilarious. So I think this could be very interesting, actually. Oh, count me in. That's something I really would look forward to.
Yeah, no, I think it's right time now as well for something like that.
Yeah,
I really do think it's that, because that film, it's just got our society down to the level it predicted so much. One of my all-time favourite movies. Yeah,
I loved it. I loved the scenes where he was in a newsagent and he's put on his glasses, and of course, looking at the paper, and it says things like, "This is your God, and this will give you power." And then it's just such a clever film, and I'm surprised actually.
It's genius. The message in it is incredible.
I loved it.
Was so beyond his time.
Yeah, I'm interested as well, because when you first told me, I just assumed it's going to be a remake. But if it's actually a sequel, that could make it very interesting
a sequel,
as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, well, we'll definitely have to focus on that. That sounds like a really good one. And hopefully they'll be able to get it into production soon. So fingers crossed on that. From my perspective, I've not seen much else in the way of news. Anything else that's come across that you want to share with us?
A lot of comic artists have lost their jobs, and comics are going to be delayed now.
Okay.
They all just got laid off, apparently, because they can't work, well, unless they're not getting the comics out for a while, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I'm reading this article about it, so I think a lot of things are going to be sort of held back for a while. Yeah, well, I've heard that. I mean, I'm not a big comic fan myself, but I used to. But I know that it's got quite a big sort of cult following kind of thing, and it's interesting. Now, I'm looking for some other news as well. What's this?
Philip Morris, private collectors have at least 6 missing Doctor Who episodes. Let's just have a quick look at some items here.
Yes.
Going into Cult Box, which is on the website. It says Jason Clifford's Time and Space visualised Philip Morris, who has previously found missing episodes at television stations around the world, confidently stated that there are more missing episodes of Doctor Who waiting to be discovered. Of course, the episode that everyone's after is, of course, the last William Hartnell episode. Oh, God, what was it? I just had it. What's his last episode? First episode of the Cybermen.
Well, it's Cybermen where it regenerated.
Yeah, it was. But what's that last episode called?
I don't know.
Oh, it's on my DVDs, but I can't quite see it from now. Anyway, but that's the episode that everyone's really after wanted to see. But apparently he thinks that there are 6 more episodes out there. He did get some from a Nigerian TV series a few years ago. He found episode 3 of The Web of Fear. 10th Planet. Sorry, it's coming back to me. The 10th Planet is the last episode of William Hartnell.
10th Planet, yeah.
10th Planet, episode 4.
It's interesting. They found quite a lot of these episodes over years in Africa at TV stations.
That's right. That's where he's found the recent
Yeah,
ones.
they found quite more. They all seem to be coming out of there as well, out of Africa, which is interesting.
But I still think it's crazy that the BBC threw away the original film reels. I think that's absolutely crazy.
Well, they did it to save cost, didn't they? It's like, they did it to save cost. They needed to reuse the tapes again. I bet they regretted that, didn't they?
Yeah.
How could? Because they didn't know it's just Doctor Who. We'll just erase it. Yeah, it's a big mistake.
Well, yeah, I think that's a really bad mistake. Going on to Doctor Who, another thing here. Apparently, Stephen Moffat, who was the original executive producer in the Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi era, is writing a 13th Doctor story. Apparently, he's in communications with the actual people who are running it now. I liked Stephen Moffat's era of Doctor Who. Did you quite like his era?
Oh, Stephen Moffat?
Yeah, did you like his era?
No.
Didn't you?
He's such an he's so overrated as a writer.
But you like him more than Chris Chibnall, though, don't you?
Yes. But I think Russell T Davies was the best one.
Yeah, well, I quite like Stephen Moffat. I mean, he did do the Weeping Angels, which are one of the...
Yeah, that's true, he did,
one of the highly regarded ones. But anyway, apparently he might be back. So if you're not a big fan of him either, then that probably wouldn't exactly impress you that much. I hope he's back.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's...
I need to moan about it. I'm Northern, we moan.
Do you? Is that a Northern...
Yeah. When you're up there, you don't know you're moaning at each other, but when you're out of the fish tank somewhere else, everybody thinks you're moaning. So yeah, it's a Northern thing.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. I don't know many Northerners apart from you, so you're
you're lucky then. Yeah,
you're representing Leeds, aren't you? So
we like queuing. We like queuing and we like money.
Do you? Yeah, well, I like a good man myself, actually. You should hear me.
Yeah.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
So that's it for Doctor Who news. Anything else?
There is one little thing. I read an article this week that Discovery and Picard, there might be a crossover.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Some people thought that we might see the Red Angel in Picard. We didn't. So, what have you heard any more specifics as to what the crossover will be?
No.
Okay.
But it'll be happening in Picard season 2. Well, Geordie LaForge is returning.
Oh, is he? LeVar Burton's coming back?
Yes, he's returning to Picard season 2 for a couple of episodes, yeah.
Okay, because like I said, I'm only going to get excited about Picard once I know that they're actually able to start production again. And we're all...
And it's rumoured that Janeway might be getting a one-off series.
Well, like one season?
Yeah, it's rumoured, yeah. I read it the other day, that it looks like she's been approached.
To be honest, I like I said, since it's come back with Discovery, I've been disappointed by both series. So if it's like the Federation in Picard, I don't know, I'll watch it. But to me, the Rick Berman era of Star Trek is my favourite era, I think, and I think ever since then it's not. I didn't mind the Kelvin.
Totally agree.
I don't mind the Kelvin universe ones because they're just standalone. but I've been very underwhelmed by Discovery, and unfortunately now by Picard. To me, it's just, and I've seen so many YouTube clips of Star Trek fans saying why they don't feel it. It just doesn't quite feel like it's Star Trek, and I'm not going to go on about it again because you've all heard it about 1,000 times. But I certainly will check it out, and that's something. So, and you never know if they can get rid of Kurtzman, get some new people involved with making the series, and hopefully now Paramount will have more influence on the CBS aspect. So it could change. It could be good. We could get there eventually. But I am looking forward to Discovery Season 3. I think that could be quite interesting as well. So we'll have to see how that goes.
That's coming soon. That's very soon. It's in a couple of weeks.
Well, they say soon, but they're not gone specifics. Apparently they're working on post-production. But of course they're all doing it remotely. So I assume they could still do it from their own homes with all the... Because it'll be editing, which they could do at home. They could do special effects with their computers. So in theory they could do it, but I don't know. I've heard that Discovery might come back quite late now. It might be not for a few months.
Right then.
So we don't know. We don't know. I think people aren't giving specifics because they just don't know. But there'll be a big void for entertainment. So I'd imagine that the people in Discovery will be trying to get it going as soon as possible. Because, like I said, now Picard's finished, Doctor Who's finished. I'm going through The Expanse still, but then once that's done. Although I did post yesterday, I saw a great film from 2017 called Life.
Yes, I saw that.
I thought that was really good. I thought it was actually very good. It's not original, a very original idea, but for what it's worth, I actually thought it was really good.
And where's the sequel?
Oh, I hope they make a sequel.
I think that must have flopped.
I don't know how it did. I mean, I saw at the end when the two capsules was going off. I knew that the alien in the capsule with the alien was the one that's going down to Earth, and the other one was going to go into space. I knew that. That was quite obvious. Did you get that before it happened?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. But I thought it was still bloody good. I thought it was really good.
It's a good film. I enjoyed it.
Good special effects, and it's because it started off like a single cell, didn't it? And they somehow managed to replicate and grow like a bacteria. And I thought it was great. I loved it.
It could have been a thing.
Yes, it could have been. It could have been a thing.
Could have been, yeah.
It could have done. I mean, although it didn't change its form, it grew, didn't it? It still had its same shape, didn't it?
Well, it was evolving, wasn't it? It was evolving.
Yeah, it could be. Maybe it's, they could... No,
do you remember that other film that was like that? Going back a few years ago with David Duchovny.
I know of him from The X-Files, but I don't remember him...
Yeah, well, he did that film. There was a film where this, germ thing turned up and it kept... Evolution, it were called, I think.
Oh, that sounds good. Let me have a look at that.
It's good. It's very similar to that. This asteroid comes down and life evolves constantly. It just evolves.
Oh.
And they've got David Duchovny's in it. I think it's called Evolution. It's a crazy film, but it's really good. And then I won't tell you anymore. I do recommend you download it. But it's very similar to Life.
Okay, well, I can't... let's say David... Let's turn on the X-Files. Let me have a quick look at his...
Are you Googling?
I am Googling on the Internet Movie Database. That's all right. I could do that. It's legal. It's fine. It's not porn.
All right. This is a family program, honestly.
Oh, well, I don't know. We do have quite a few F-bombs sometimes. Here we go.
Well, we could cover a couple of science fiction porno movies of the weekly focus.
What, like Flesh Gordon or something?
Yes, I did. Well, have you seen the Star Trek one?
No,
I'll stop it now.
No, I think we should get out of it.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look. Better Things, this is the filmography. How was it filmed recent, or when was this film made roughly?
Oh, it must have been over 10 years ago, yeah.
Queer Duck the Movie, it's not that one, is it? It's not Queer Duck the Movie.
No, it's Evolution, it's called.
Oh, here we are. Oh, Evolution 2001.
Oh, you found it.
It's 19 years old.
Oh, gosh.
Firefighter cadet, two college professors and a geeky but sexy government scientist work against an alien organism that has been rapidly evolving since its arrival on Earth inside a meteor. All right. Okay, I seem to recognise the face of the smiley face with the three eyes. So I've not seen it.
I do recommend it.
I will. I trust your recommendation. I'll give that a go. Yeah, I'll check that out. It says it's a comedy sci-fi. It's actually comedy sci-fi, apparently.
Yeah, It's very funny, yeah.
Oh, cool. I like comedy and sci-fi, so thank you for that. I'll definitely check that out. Right. Any other news you want to share with us today?
Yeah. No, that's everything. I'm gonna buy a new telly if that's important.
Oh, what sort of size? What sort of thing are you looking at?
I don't know yet. I did think about going to Sainsbury's today to get one. It's a bit too dodgy, isn't it?
Yeah, we can order it. Just order it. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
What are you going to get? A smart TV, I assume.
Yeah. I want a 55-inch, I think.
Have you? Mine's 48-inch. What's your current size one?
Same size.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty good, the size of my one. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, I always want a bigger telly, and that's the thing. So
yes, I was looking at the 65s, but I don't know where to put it.
Yeah, see with mine, I think in my room, because I've got a den. It's not that big. I've got my fruit machine. I've got my all my DVDs and stuff. It actually fills the room nicely.
Do you actually use your fruit machine then?
It's not working at the moment, but I used to. It needs someone to come round, but it's great fun. The Simpsons fruit machine. I got it.
I've seen you've got a game. You've got I saw one of your videos. You've got a tabletop. Is it? Am I right? Have you got a tabletop?
Yeah, it's got all the classics: Galaxian, Pac-Man, Space Invaders. It's very good. It's very good. And on my computer, I've also got access to a great deal classic arcade game ROMs and stuff. So it plays them, and that's really good as well. Yeah, I'll.
Is it an original one, or is it one?
It's a software. It turns your computer into an arcade machine, and what it does, this program.
All right.
So basically, I've got both. I've got the tabletop, which actually is. I think it's a remake. It's not an original, but it plays the original game ROMs.
Right. Okay. Right.
But that's quite good. But I don't like modern games, but I like classic games. But you can get you can get software that plays ROMs. They're called ROMs, which are the game instructions. Right. But yeah, well worth looking online to play some games online. And I think some of them you have to subscribe to pay, so it's a legal thing. There are some which aren't legal either, but that's obviously up to you to look online. It's not for me to say. But there you go. Right, let's change the subject. Let's move on to the Solo One Sci-Fi Focus of the Week. Here we go.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi
Focus of the Week.
Right, this is a series from 1995. I was thinking more recently. It's made in British Columbia by the people who made Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, I think X-Files as well, and Twin Peaks and things like that. It is, of course, the Outer Limits remake, which I first saw on BBC Two in about 1996, 1997. Let's first of all hear about what you thought about the series, how you came across it, what are your impressions?
I came across it. It was on Monday nights on BBC Two.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it replaced some else or another thing that had finished, and that came on. And I missed the first episode, the premiere episode. It was
Sand Kings.
Yeah, my brother. It was a 2-hour special.
Yeah, it was.
Where these like creatures.
Yeah, from Mars.
And they come to Earth, and they build this in this tank. They build a statue.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. It's very good.
And my brother, he wouldn't shut up about it. And I luckily, my parents had recorded it. I watched it. And I was totally blown away.
Yeah, it was so good.
When they built a statue of his face at the end.
Yeah, and they'd actually escaped into the outside. Yeah, it was really good.
Yes, fantastic, genius episode.
Yeah. Now this is similar because it was made by the people. I think Sliders did the same people, some of the same people, and it's made in the same place. And the thing is, I've never seen the last couple of seasons properly. For me, the first 2 or 3 seasons were the episodes that stick in my mind. Have you seen the entire series, or just most of them, or what?
I've seen a lot of them, but I don't know. I don't think I've seen all the seasons of it. I've seen a few of them.
I mean, it went on for seven seasons, and like
Go on for 7 seasons.
yeah, and like so, season 7 had 22 episodes. Season 6 had 22. Season 5 had 22. Season 4 had 26. Season 3 had 18. And season 2 had 22. Season 1 had 22. A lot of episodes.
Wow,
And
that's incredible.
And I watched one this morning, which I hadn't seen before, and it also featured Tom McBeath, who played Mayborn on Stargate SG-1. So when you watch this series, you always see all the actors from Stargate appearing in different episodes. There's a lot of, actually, in the early seasons, it actually had a lot of very big-name stars. Thinking of some, it had Leonard Nimoy, obviously Spock.
Yeah, with the robot cop.
Yep, and it had Mark Hamill. He appeared in an episode. I'm trying to think of some of the episodes that I've seen which stand out. Valerie 23 was a good episode. That featured the actor who played Sloan in DS9, the Section 31. William Sadler, that's his name. What a memory, William Sadler.
Yeah.
Some of the episodes, let's see, it's Valerie 23, Virtual Future. That's the guy who played the Kardashian torturer in David Warner. It's funny, something the names just popped in my head. He appeared in that episode. Under the Bed, The Conversion featured Brent Spiner. The Voyage Home featured Worf, Michael Dorn. Let's have a lot of Star Trek actors in this. So which episodes do you remember that you'd like to talk about?
The one is that guy in the 50s. He goes driving off in his car,
Oh,
and
cool.
he has a crash.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to his house. It's 10 years later, and he's knocking on the door.
Yeah, that was what was that episode called? It was that was one of my favourite ones. Wasn't a conversion, but yeah, that was very good because he basically falls asleep, and then he wakes up.
Yes. Yeah.
What was it called? Episode? Something like Missing or something.
Yeah.
Oh, what's it called? Deprogrammers, Vanishing Act. I'll give you a quick synopsis. The Astronaut examines the classic domestic fable of a husband who leaves to go to the store and doesn't return for 10 years. Where has he been and why? It happens to be Trevor McPhee, and his return is more than a little distressing for his wife Teresa, especially since he insists he was in a car crash only hours ago. Then they when they reconcile, he vanishes again for another decade. Trevor then finds himself trapped between two worlds, one in a recurring nightmare of caves, and it goes on from there. That was a good episode. Another good episode I recommend is an episode called The Deprogrammers with Brent Spiner. And it says, with Earth under alien rule and millions dead, the human race has been programmed to slavery. A small band of rebels kidnap Evan, alien leader Koltok's personal slave. Trent Davis, leader of the rebels, tries to return Evan to his former self through arduous deprogramming sessions. To aid in the progress, Evans is reintroduced to his wife Jill, and as his session progresses, Evan learns of the death of his daughter, and he agrees to join the rebels in assassinating his former master. Do you remember that episode with Brent Spiner? That was a very good episode.
No, I haven't seen that one.
That's a really good one. What else have we got as good episodes? Outer Body, that was a good one. Vanishing Act is the one you just talked about. But like I said, these episodes are the ones I remember, which are all in the first 3 seasons. Feasibility Study, which was a remake of the original one, which was where the residents of a suburban neighbourhood have found their lives turned upside down when a 4-block section of their subdivision is ripped from Earth by a mysterious force and transported to a distant planet. Thrown together in crisis, Joshua Hayward, his daughter Sarah, and their neighbours try to understand what's happening to them. Do you remember that one, Feasibility Study?
No.
This is quite good. And do you know what? Normally, whenever you talk to me about so many shows that I've missed, but it sounds like you've missed a lot of good episodes.
I'm
getting mine back. This is episode 19. This is Revenge.
Yeah, all right. You have to get the number in, don't you? I remember one episode.
Go on.
There was one episode. I don't know what season you published. I admit defeat on this then.
Okay, go on.
Right. There was one episode about an alien invasion.
Right.
And they've got a human there, and that in the episode, they go back to other episodes. These aliens want to invade, and the Sand Kings are mentioned, all these other aliens.
Yeah, it was a clip show.
So there is like a clip show, but it's like there is this running connection through the whole thing.
Yes.
That it's all connected.
Yes.
I remember that. You've seen that.
But I remember the episode, but I thought that it was just basically they were just trying to kind of fill in the time by making some weak link to all them being collected. I just got it as them just trying to find a justification of having all these aliens, because there's so many episodes with aliens turn up that they were just doing that. But yeah, I do remember that. That was a later one, I think.
Yeah.
What else have we got here? The Conversion, which is a very good one about this guy who's a greedy man who's just been free from a prison sentence, and he tries to kill his old boss, and he thinks he does, but then it turns out that there's these people. John Savage is in it from. He's a well-known actor. He appeared in Equinox in Star Trek Voyager. He's the person who's trying to say to him that actually you're just a good person, and they try to change his life for the good. That's an excellent episode. Michael Dorn in the episode Voyage Home, where it's a bit like Alive, where they're coming back from Mars and there's an alien organism on it starts to take over people. That's a very good episode. What else have we got here? Caught in the Act, which is really quite, because some of the episodes had quite a lot of adult content, and it's Caught in the Act is the discovery of a gifted scientist falls in the wrong hands, bringing what appears to be a life-saving miracle. Oh no, actually, is that episode? Or maybe it's not that one. What else have we got here? Stitch in Time is the one you just saw recently. First anniversary. As he celebrates his first wedding anniversary, Norman Glass thinks he's the luckiest man alive. His wife Andy, whom he met after the tragic death of her husband, is stunningly beautiful and talented. She loves him more than anyone. They have two great friends, Dennis and Barbara. When we arrived on the same day and just madly in love in Norman and Andy, but suddenly things start to change. First Dennis leaves Barbara, and then Norman must struggle with strange growing revulsion to his wife. That was a very good episode where these aliens impersonate an attractive woman just because they want to share their lives, but they can only hold their form for a year until the person who lives with them starts to break through their illusions. And that's the guy that played Mad Max in the 80s. I can't think of the actor. He appeared in Star Trek as well.
Mel Gibson.
Mad Max. What was he in? He was in an episode with
Tom Hardy.
No. I don't mean Mad Max. Max Headroom. Talking complete rubbish. Not Mad Max. Max Headroom.
I forgot his name now. Yeah.
He appeared in an episode of Next Generation as a scientist from the future.
As the time traveller, yeah.
Yeah, so that actor, he was in that episode. Inconsistent Moon is a really good one, where I'll read out the synopsis of this one. When a lonely physics professor realises that the sun is going to burn out, he knows that he and humanity only have a few hours to live. In that time, Stan resolves to make up for lost years. He counts and proposes to Leslie, a woman he has known for years but never dated. Leslie, although puzzled, finds herself more and more entranced by Stan until she finds out the reason for Stan's sudden attention. It's a really good episode where it starts off with this guy, he's at home and he looks out the window and he sees the moon, but the moon is really, really bright, and it's much brighter than it should be. And he realises that the sun has exploded, and they've just got a time for like a couple of hours before, because only the other side of the planet from the sun, because it's night time, they've got about 2 hours before the Earth's destroyed. It's really, really good. Excellent episode. There's so many episodes I could talk to you about, as you can tell. But it sounds like you missed a lot of good stuff here, mate. Definitely.
I was busy.
You're busy what? Having a life. I love it. I was busy.
Are they all on YouTube, these then? Is they all like 7 seasons on YouTube?
I saw some on YouTube. Let's
Right.
have a quick look at that. Let's have a look.
I've never seen it to buy on DVD or Blu-ray. You know.
It is on DVD. It is on DVD.
I don't think I've got the originals. You know, from the 60s.
I honestly, I think I know you well enough to know that you know what sci-fi that you really like. I honestly cannot recommend this series enough. The 60s series was great as well, and they did reference a lot of episodes. And you remember Robert Patrick from The Terminator? He appeared.
Yes, yeah.
He appeared in an episode with Nicole DeBoer, who played Esri Dax on DS9, where they're trapped in a prison.
God.
And that episode is really, really good as well. And the twist ending is really good. Oh man, you got to see some of these. What's the looking at?
Do you know? I might actually buy them up. Actually.
Oh, seriously, especially the
series.
No, it's really, really good. Let me see what's on YouTube for the moment. But I think that if you've got time on your hands, each
I've got lots
episode.
of time on my hands.
And there's the great episode of Mark Hamill where he works with a scientist and she's involved in an accident. And there's this machine where he can link up his mind to hers, and he's trying to talk to her while she's in a coma and trying to get her out. And that's a great episode as well. Oh, wow. Just talking about some of these episodes, you are really in for a treat, mate. I tell you. If you don't mind 90s stuff, because obviously it's a bit older now.
I love 90s. I thought the 90s created some of the best science fiction ever.
And like I said, it's made by.
I think the 90s.
And it's made by the Stargate people. So there's Valerie.
Yeah.
Valorie's on there for an episode. There are some here.
The thing is with the 90s, they really experimented with a lot of stuff, and it was good. They're not doing that as much now.
No, I know.
It's all remakes, but then it was all original, and I love the 90s stuff.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think of things like Sliders that we talked about last week. This is another one from that sort of period, and it's really good. So there are some episodes on there just to whet your appetite, shall we say? But
7 seasons, I think, no?
Yeah, 7 seasons. So that's
the BBC show.
No, they only showed the first 2 or 3. Then it went to Sky One, I think.
Right, that's why they got to Sky. Did they pitch it?
Yeah, but I wasn't so much into the late. No, they did though. Do you remember the days when Sky One they had Star Trek on all the time, and they had the Outer Limits, and they had the Simpsons, they had all the best shows, and eventually BBC Two had nothing.
No, they nicked it all, didn't they?
I know they taught more. BBC Two lost all the rights, and so BBC Two, which used to be how I got into so many series, then it just fizzled out. It just didn't seem to show anything after 6 o'clock.
Well, I'll tell you, they made a mistake when Buffy was on.
Yeah.
Right. On first season, nobody watched it on Sky One, so Sky dropped it and BBC picked it up. When
I never watched that.
Picked it up, it exploded.
I never watched Buffy.
Exploded.
Yeah, I never
and
seen
then
that
Sky
one.
picked it back.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, do Sky still show? I don't know what Sky does now. I've not seen Sky for years. I don't know what they do now.
God.
I mean, they're still going.
I remember they were going Stargate Mad. Do you remember when Sky went? Because I had Sky.
They went. They used to. Yeah, they did. They did do it, and it was very good actually for science fiction Sky One. But I have no idea what they're doing now. It was good. Although I never. I mean, for 1 year, for some reason, where I was living, we had Sky One for free, and it wasn't. It was not illegal. It was somehow we were allowed for a year, and that's I think how I got into Stargate SG-1. Thinking about it, that's how I got into it.
I don't mean to interrupt. A friend of mine has a council flat in Leeds, and in the blocks for about a year, everybody got Sky One.
Yeah, we got it for some reason for a while. I don't know why I got it.
Yeah, because I remember. I think it was because what they'd done, they'd fitted a connection running through the entire block, so that when you ordered Sky, before it all went online, you got a box and it just connected it in. That's what it were all set up for in the flats, because a lot of people were getting,
Yeah.
And it was to stop them from putting dishes. Do you remember when you used to go past flat and you see a dish outside a window 10 floors up? Somebody had to put that there.
I know.
Can you imagine that?
That's not the best job. I mean, imagine doing that now.
No.
I hate heights anyway. I can't stand heights.
That's why they put that in. Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, I walked across the Golden Gate Bridge and I was absolutely bloody terrified.
I can imagine.
I mean, honestly, I don't like heights. I do not like heights. I hate flying.
No, I don't.
But I thought, I'm going out there, I'm going to see this America if it kills me. And oh my God, it was the best holiday ever. But San Francisco is so cool. And of course, that's featured so much on shows like Star Trek and stuff. But I said, right, we've got to go across the Golden Gate Bridge, which is a big, long bridge to walk back and forth. But we did it. We got a taxi from our hotel and we just walked across the thing. And I was like, oh, and I wasn't looking down, but I was keeping away from the edge of the, and it's like, I'm so glad I did that. Especially, now where we were going to be going to America in August, but now that's not going to happen. So, I'm just glad that
everything's cancelled this year.
Oh no,
everything.
Yeah, everything's on hold. Have you been to the west side of America before?
No, I've been to New York.
Oh, right, that's where we were going to go back this year.
Yeah.
But obviously now. Yeah, but if you ever get the chance, check out the west side because California is fantastic and so many places to see. So, yeah. Anyway, so going back to Outer Limits, yeah, brilliant series. I think that you're going to be in for a big treat with that. Did you... I don't know if you want to do a separate show covering the classic Outer Limits or should we just give that a mention now? What do you want to do with that?
I think we should do it. I think they're both different.
Yeah.
It's like the Twilight Zone, the 80s one.
I think you're right.
It's different to the 60s one, isn't it?
So I'll just mention briefly that some of the episodes from the classic Outer Limits are done in this series, feasibility study being one of those ones. I think you're right. We'll do a separate podcast based on classic Outer Limits because it is very good as well. So, check it out. There's a lot of episodes there. Go on.
We have control of your television sets, the horizontal.
I know.
Remember that.
I remember my mate at work when I used to work for Surrey County Council. I was a big fan of the original Twilight Zone, and he said, "Have you seen the Outer Limits?" And I said, "No." And he had some on tape, and he lent me his cassettes of them. And it is a bit more out there than Twilight Zone, but it was very good. But seeing that obviously made me appreciate seeing this remake of it, which again have some brilliant stories. There's one other episode I want to quickly mention before we finish, which I can remember. It was a really good episode. It also features the actor who played John Boy in The Waltons that we mentioned last week. No, it's a very good episode, and it's called what's the episode called? I've got to find it. Under the Bed, Dark Matters, You Breed. What's it called? Unnatural
John
Selection.
Boy Walton.
No, it's not that one.
Do you know he's very good at playing? I'm not a big fan of John Boy Walton, but do you know he's very good at playing evil villains? I'm being serious.
I don't know. I've not seen him in any particular. But I suppose
I saw him in a film called Stepfather, and he's a monster in it. He's terrifying. Unless he's John Boy Walton.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe worth. Yeah. I can't think to see the episode that I'm talking about. Oh, that's annoying. I wanted to talk about that one. But it's an episode where this guy has just discovered he's got cancer, and John Boy's character is a scientist who's managed to create these nanogenes that can go in and fix cells of the body. It's in early clinical trials where he's about to start testing on animals, but this guy hears about it and he just tries to experiment on himself because he thinks he's got nothing to lose, and of course it all goes very wrong. Oh, that's a good episode, but I wish I could do what it's called though. But yeah, so there we go. Outer Limits, check it out. Some episodes on YouTube. I think you could buy it on Amazon if you want to buy the DVDs, and it's well.
I remember first say when it were on BBC Two. That's when I sort of caught it. But it's did it get like the first 3 seasons before we finished this? Were they the best? And then as it went on, did it start losing its?
Yeah, I thought
shine later on.
I thought so. I thought the first 2 seasons, maybe the third were the best, and then I've watched later episodes. But whether it's because I'm watching them later, if I'd have been watching them back then, would I have liked them so much? So if you were to choose, I'd suggest you buy the first couple of seasons, and if it really go for it, then get the rest. But I've not clicked with some of the later episodes half as much. But I've not seen them so much either, so I don't know. It's strange. It's a strange one. But there probably are some good episodes I've just not seen yet in the later seasons. I'm sure there must be that many episodes. You shouldn't be able to go wrong with that. But it just felt like the quality in the writing, and also you didn't get so many big actors either. it just felt like some of the best input from the series wasn't quite as good later on. But like I said, it's individualistic. Some people might like the later seasons, but for me, I've not seen so many that's really made me remember those. So yeah, check it out. Right, shall we move on then to the next Predator versus this week? Do you want to do this one? This is going to be interesting. Do you want to go for it?
Yeah.
All right. What we'll do is, before we hit the jingle, we've got a new idea where we're going to do another story where we do, say, a couple of sentences, and then we should sort of like say your turn or something to prompt the other person to continue the story. So we're going to hit the jingle. We're doing this completely blind, and let's see how it goes. Here we go.
Yeah, and don't forget, we've got to keep within rules of both films as well.
Yes, we can't stray away to a third. It's got to be the actual question. So
the Waltons were a special thing last week. We got permission to do that.
Yes, and this week it's going to be The Thing. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Predator versus.
Right, who starts off this story?
Right then, 1 million years ago, this creature's going across the galaxy, infecting other races. In pursuit is a predator. It fires on its ship. In comes the scene from The Thing. We see a flying saucer crashing down in Antarctica. But the ship fired back and took out the predator's photon drive. So the ship crashes. Two ships crash. We don't see the predator one. That's a few miles away. That crashes in the ice. So the two predators that are on board after this creature for what it's been doing, and they're hunting it, but it's infected a tribe of predators. They've crashed as well, and they're in the ice.
Right. Okay, is it my turn?
And then we move on to the film.
Okay. So don't forget, you've got to prompt me. When you say go ahead, that's when it's my turn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the film has set off that the Thing has thawed out and escapes. And at this point, there is another research vehicle who has picked up sort of heat emanations from the original base, which don't seem to be like the norm. So they detect that there's been a big explosion, there's been a big fire, and they are on their way to see what's happened. As they're going by, they discover something which is sticking out of the ice, which looks like it's artificial, and they're curious as to what it is. And as they approach it, they find that there's something inside, and they decide to actually get a team to try to uncover what this is. Go ahead.
But 4 miles away, at another research station of Bulgarians, right, they found another wreckage of another ship. Go ahead.
Okay, and so the first team managed to actually take out what they find, and they find that it is looks like an alien life form which is frozen, and they're not sure what this is. So they put this in their vehicle and they want to take it back to their research laboratory. Go ahead.
But meanwhile, in the Bulgarian research station, yeah, they could have a research station there.
Yes,
they could.
Okay,
and
go
the
on.
Bulgarian research, which is heavily underfunded, right, find a ship and bring out these two bodies. Now, one of the bodies is dead, but the other one starts falling out. And suddenly his arm starts counting down, like there's like lights come up on these bits of armour.
Right.
And an arm starts moving. Over to you.
Okay, so the other research centre also hear from the first Bulgarian station, hearing that something is wrong with somebody at the station, and they decide to turn around with their vehicle with the remnants of the other crashed ship, and they all meet up together at the Bulgarian station. Go ahead.
At the Bulgarian station. Give me a Bulgarian name. Stefan.
Yeah.
Is that a Bulgarian name? Stefanka, right?
Quantano.
Quantao and Stefanka are two research scientists in a very underfunded Bulgarian base, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's not like the American base. It's underfunded. It's from Bulgaria, right?
Okay.
He's walking about, he's in the lab, and meanwhile something's moving, like, that noise, the predator noise, that, that?
Yes.
He hears it and he turns around and just a big stab thing goes through him and just cuts him in half.
Right.
And it's a predator, it's awake, and suddenly it's looking around, and what's the other Bulgarian fella called?
Quantano
or whatever, he gets decapitated, and then suddenly laser bolts are going off everywhere. Because they've got a bit from another ship, a piece of metal which the predator recognises, and it slaughters everybody in the Bulgarian base.
Right.
They're all dead. They're all dead. So it's looking for the thing, and it's got a device that can scan it to see if one of them's fake. Over to you.
Okay. Well, while this has all been going on, the people on the first vehicle have actually had the heating on in their vehicle. And this creature, which is in the ice, has thawed. Yes, it's thawed very quickly, but then the creature was still quite alive anyway. And it bursts out, and it actually takes over one of the guards. And the other guard is killed because he bashes his head against the window, and the window's open, and it's got cracked glass, and he's dead. And so the first man, who's now a thing, comes out of the vehicle, and he sees the predator looking at him, and the predator sort of tilts his head, giving him a slightly curious look. Go ahead.
Well, it stood there, and the predator's in the snow after it slaughtered all the Bulgarians. And this other research station, which obviously it's not the American research
no,
station.
It's not one.
It?
Yeah, this is the
It's Welsh.
It's Welsh. It's Welsh. Bonita. Yeah, go on.
It's the Welsh research. We can do this.
Yeah.
And it's heavily underfunded as well.
Yeah.
So it stood there as the Welshman, right? This thing with arms coming out, and the predator's there, and the laser beam, the 3 laser beams are on it, and it fires off a volley. But the thing, it sort of gets blown apart, but reforms into a hedgehog.
Oh, okay.
And it scampers along the floor.
Right.
And it gets into the Welsh research station.
Oh, okay. You haven't seen. I was going to say you haven't seen. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Go on.
Oh God. So the predator is then goes to the Welsh research station because it's following the assimilated Welshman, who's the predator, who's the thing, and then the thing in the Welshman decides to try to assimilate the predator. The predator's got armour and deflects him, but the Welshman has also got a knife which he's found, and he cuts the predator's skin, and a tiny droplet of blood from the Welsh thing goes into the predator. Over to you.
But the predator has nanites which deflect it as a defence to stop it from being replicated after what it did to its tribe. So the several Welshmen come running through the door, and they all get duplicated. Now the thing's been an hedgehog, and it becomes a giant hedgehog who's now become part octopus, and it's in all kinds of weird and a goldfish. Got a goldfish.
Oh, goldfish, yeah. Okay.
Well, it can become fucking anything.
Yeah.
So it's running around with and it's got bollocks as well, and it stood there. Predator's there because it's got nanite defences. Fucking fires the laser blast, but it don't really affect the thing. But the thing absorbs 4 Welshmen with the Bulgarians, and what comes out as a Bulgarian Welshman, it's really odd, who's got a hedgehog head, a goldfish mouth, a pair of bollocks, and octopus arms, and it's screaming on a pair of 2 legs.
Okay.
And it's wearing half-mast trousers.
Is it my turn now?
Over to you.
All right, so the predator sort of realises he's in the trouble here, but luckily he realises that he's still got his emergency bomb detonation thing, and he thinks it's time to kill himself because he knows that this mass is too big for him to handle. So he times down. The hedgehog Bulgarian Welshman rolls towards him.
Goldfish.
The goldfish rolls towards him, jumps on top of him. The predator's flattened, and then suddenly the predator these huge claws come out trying to scratch at his skin and everything. The predator is still got his barrier against the thing because he's got the nanites. And then the bomb goes off and they're all killed at the end.
But there's a twist.
Oh no! Go on.
There's a twist in the rubble of the base when it goes off. There's a survivor, a Welshman,
Right.
who's just crawling out, and he's just sat against the wall, a rock of ice, and he just freezes. But in the background, there's a helicopter.
And then the music comes on. Dum dum.
Yeah.
Dum dum, and that's the end. So he's frozen. The helicopter's approaching. To be continued. Is that how we're finishing it?
Well, yeah, because we've got to go through several research stations before we get to the full.
There's a lot of researchers in that area, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
There's the Norwegian one. There's the American one. There's a Welsh one, and there's what was the other one? Bulgarian. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Do you know that was actually quite good? I think we should do further stories where we sort of bounce off each other and just completely go.
Well, next week it's Crockett and Tubbs.
What's that? What's Crockett and Tubbs?
Miami Vice.
Oh, you might need to. Well, I could try to go from the Predator side, but I never really watched Miami Vice, but we can try it.
That's all right. But what a soundtrack as well for it.
Yeah, exactly.
MTV cops in flash suits take on a predator in the Florida Everglades.
Yeah. Okay, mate. That sounds good. That sounds like a good one, definitely. Right, well, there we go. That was certainly a story which hopefully will come out in a paperback at some point, and we may be able to make some money out of that one.
Yes.
Anything else you want to talk about tonight, or today's show, rather?
No, I think that's it until next week, until episode 20.
I know, already. Which will focus on the boys from the Dwarf, where I think that it's going to be really focusing on that based on the news, obviously seeing the new episode plus reviewing the series in general. So.
I'm going to go on for half an hour after Red Dwarf. Do you want to come on? Is it 10:30 it finishes? It's 3 episodes.
Yeah, if it's late, then that'll be fine. That should be fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking that we could do. I'll do half an hour.
What, do your StreamYard thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up.
Do 30 minutes or 40.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
After watching it straight away, yeah.
We could even, if you wanted to, we could incorporate some of the audio into the next podcast.
Well, yeah, you can do whatever you want. I don't mind.
Well, thank you.
But
All right.
I'll have. I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I think I know how to invite people. I've only done it once.
Yeah, I'm new to it myself.
I will figure it out. So,
excellent. Yeah.
So, yeah.
That sounds like a good idea.
10 then.
I'll check.
It's an hour and a half.
I'll check. We'll confirm that. But yeah, we'll definitely have to check that out because it's very good. Yeah. Brilliant. All right. We're going to leave with. Do you remember the other week we featured Marvin the Paranoid Android singing one of his songs where he's very down and depressed?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, this week I've got another one from the same actor who played the original Marvin, and this song of this is called "Reasons to Be Miserable."
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Martin. We'll be back next week, and take it easy, guys, and stay safe.
Tally ho!
All right, catch you later.
Reasons to be miserable give my brain a pain. Very little turns me on. Marvin is my name. I'm a robot, it's my lot, a robot full of cares. I feel a little better if they broke me up the stairs. Everything I say or do I find the world condemning. If I had my time again I'd rather be a lemming. I'm just a menial robot. They drive me crazy with their Marvin, close the door. Well, isn't it enough to make you tidy up the floor? You know it spoiled the robot's day. Marvin, when you finish, you can pull yourself away. I'm going to flip my lid. They treat me like a kid. Robot naughty, robot bad, robot happy, robot sad. Who's a clever robot lad? It would drive a human mad. Robots are inhuman. Robots are inhuman. Human robots are inhuman robots. That'll be the day. Pat me on the head. I'd rather be a percolator if it'd be no trouble just to bubble life away. Don't get a holiday or friends to stay. How can a robot think with his elbows in the sink? Marvin, peel a grape. Is there no escape? Marvin, dig a hole. Play some rock and roll. Yeah, I dig it. I really hate it when they underload my brain. Washing up the dirty dishes, diodes give me pain. Walking dogs and feeding fishes driving me insane. Just a metal slave is what a robot is, and